Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Jan Erickson from Stepping Aside, and welcome to Esoteric Influences for Wednesday, the 17th day of June, 2020. Well, I hope everybody had a good day yesterday. The weather can't make up its mind right now, and I think we're going to improve. In fact, I think that we're going to be close to 90 within a few days, which is what happens here on the high desert in Central Oregon. The joke is here that we have two seasons, winter and August, three if you include fire season, because we have ground striking lightning, and if it's not somebody setting the fire, it's the lightning doing it. And it's not uncommon for it to be completely smoky throughout the whole summer. In 2017 was the last time this happened, and it wasn't just what was happening here, because there wasn't that much happening here fire-wise that summer. It was happening all around us. It was happening in Washington, and it was happening in Northern California, and so we were getting all of it was basically coming into Central Oregon and sitting there. And it isn't that we didn't have something like that happen. We did. I don't remember how many, but to contribute to it, but most of it was from the other states. And you couldn't breathe all summer long. You couldn't breathe. It was horrible. And we lost our well. We have a community well, 14 home well. My husband, unfortunately, was the only one taking care of it. It's everybody's supposed to do it, but he really was the only one, other than one other guy that he asked to help him. He was the only one really for the most of the time. And so he had to be out there in it and trying to keep the water flowing through sand while we were waiting for the well drillers to get here, because we were on like a 6-week waiting list. Everybody's well was going out that year. I don't know why, but we ended up, a pocket of black sand moved into our little pocket where we were, where our well was drilled to. So we had to go drill down about 100 more feet. And so anyway, it was just a terrible time. And so I'm hoping that we're not going to have that this year. So far, so good. But I don't know, you just never know around here. So I hope everybody is doing well. And, because with the COVID and everything, you have to be in masks. And realistically, we needed to be back then. So I don't know. The other thing that's happening right now in our area is the cottonwoods flying. And so I'm not breathing well and my throat's not doing well. So we'll see how this goes. And then I have to do the somewhat daily tarot and runes. So we'll see how whether or not anyone can hear me or if I lose my voice entirely. So between the juniper pollen and the cottonwood fuzz that's flying, oh my goodness, it's very difficult to breathe out there right now. But we have a beautiful day today. So and the weather's getting better, and the temperatures are rising, and my bees will be happy, my garden will be happy, and because it's not growing very well right now without all the sun. So anyhow, today again is the 17th day of June. We're in a 6 energy for the month, a 22 energy for the year, but it's an 8 energy for today. And 8, I've always likened to the god Tyr, the spiritual warrior within. The 8 understands universal harmony in a way the other numbers haven't yet figured out. So the type of leader that you're talking about is one that can see the bigger picture and can understand what needs to happen for the greater good, not just for himself or herself. So it also deals with justice, regeneration. It's the planet Saturn in Libra. It's just one of those things where we slow down and we look around and we pay attention and we understand the greater necessities that we're experiencing, what those needs really are. So in any event, practical matters take priority today. Understand the greater picture and choose harmony and protection over self-interest. That's the main thing. Right now, we're seeing a group of us that doesn't understand the necessity to wear a mask. Well, when you're out in public and around people. If you do that, you're selfish. You just are. And you don't understand. And maybe maybe you really don't understand. And so in that sense, it's not intentionally selfish. But my goodness, Pretty easy to see. As the numbers rise, we know why that's happening, and it's going to continue. We're not out of the first phase of this. We're just not. We're still struggling, trying to understand this and understand what our path forward is. And it's together. We have to stay on the same page right now with respect to the virus. The moon's in Taurus right now. Practical. So again, Taurus is about practicality and routine and home and hearth and all of that. So practical concerns are in focus today. Take care of routine items such as paying bills or watering plants. The moon is in sextile with Mercury. Ideas flow. Feelings and thoughts are easily expressed. Compassion is easily expressed today. And it's likely going to surround practical issues in our lives, having to do with staying safe from the virus, having to do with staying safe when you're out protesting, because that's still happening every single day, everywhere in the world. We're seeing protests on Black Lives Matter issues, and thank God it's still happening. Okay, praise Goddess that it is. Because we don't have a choice here. We can't allow this anymore, This is too much. It's just too much. And it's like we've all reached that moment where, okay, no more. Enough now. This can't be. This cannot be who we are. This cannot be what we allow to happen, right? That's the energy of now right now. Birkenau is the rune today. Let's see if I can find it really quick here. I should have done that. I was going to do that. I said to myself, just look for them before, Oh, there it is. See, it's right there. See how easy that is? I just could have done that before. Anyway, this is Birkenau. I'll draw that out for you. Like I do over in Somewhat Daily Tarot and Rune. It's like, oh no, she's going to explode the rune again. But it's important, I think, because you really can see, just by looking at the other runes, you can see in them it really fits the whole definition of them, I think, anyway. But Birkenau is an earth element rune. It's about fertility, birth, family, protection, new beginnings, healing, growth, bringing projects to fruition. If it's not like childbirth or something, it could be literally about birthing a new business, birthing a project, bringing that to fruition. So the whole, gestation process of something and seeing something through to its completion, that's an element of Birkenau. Also represents the birch tree. But this is Birkenau drawn out in my rudimentary fashion. No, I'm not an artist. I drew a dog once, though, in 5th grade. We were copying them. We had to find something to copy and just try to draw from a picture. And I drew this incredible dog, and it was almost perfect to the picture. I don't know who that child was. I really don't, because to the best of my knowledge, she's never appeared again, but I don't know. We have Isa as the backbone, the 11th rune of the Elder Futhark. Alignment and source presence. We have Laguz, which is flow of spirit, or just basically flow. We have Vunyo, which is the fellowship and joy, fellowship with others. We have, we also have Laguz reversed. We have Vunyo reversed. And then up here, that makes the B part, if you want to call it that, we have Kenaz 3 times, the light of spirit 3 times, focused inward and outward. Inward to effect the kind of alignment that Birkenau, with others, that Birkenau, and involvement with that Birkenau suggests with other people. See. So for today, a new sense of beginnings may be experienced, and it's possible that new information could be revealed here today. Birkenau is the 18th rune, and so it's a 9 energy. So there is a sense of not only beginnings, but also endings, like in the sense of we find something out, or something becomes clear, or something is revealed. In other words, that which is becomes revealed, that nobody realized. A lot of that's coming out, particularly about the health of the guy in the Oval Office. We know that something is wrong, and doctors have been weighing in from the beginning, and now it's almost become, well, it's become impossible to ignore. And so that's kind of what that's about, I think, in terms of what we're finding out. We're also finding out some other things about ourselves. We're discovering that we aren't going to put up with nonsense anymore. And I'm sure there are some of us that didn't realize that was bubbling up within, but maybe you watched one too many videos or one too many reports on the news, and you just stood up and said, that's not happening anymore. That's the energy of now. It is. I mean, don't you feel it? It's just obvious. We've reached, I mean, it's the event horizon. We've reached the tipping point. We are not going backward now. Don't you feel that? This energy has a life of its own. And we're not going backward now. We just aren't. Birkenau in our lives, you know. Birkenau, an earth element rune, fosters healing and growth, so use this energy to protect self and others. We're not at the end of this yet, so stay vigilant and focused on our collective survival. Right now, seriously, the virus is spiking. We had a spike on the coast, and we had a spike in Eastern Oregon. And the one on the coast was 100 at a fish plant, a packaging plant, processing and packaging plant. Several locations, all of them closed. 100 people working for them, 6 more in one of the towns. They're freaking out because they can't handle it. They know they don't have the hospitals there. They don't have the bed space if people need hospitalization. They don't. And then now, what is it? In Eastern Oregon, what was it, 80, 88? Something, one of those, 80 something maybe. And I don't know what the demographics were there. I don't know how that happened. I don't know if it was just people moving through the area from outside brought it in. I don't know, people traveling around. We travel here in Oregon. You know, we all go to the valley. We all go to Eugene. We all go to Salem. We all go to Portland. We all do it. Sometimes the businesses we need to go to are there. They don't have anything like that here. When we first moved here, heck, we didn't even have a shoe shop in Redmond, where I live. Didn't even have a shoe shop. You had to go to Bend for that. And I think there was only a couple there. And so now we have more things here, obviously. But sometimes people still go to the valley for certain things. We do. We haven't, not lately, you know. But that's what people do. We go to the coast, you know, spend the night, or leave really early, come back late at night. It can be, I mean, it's a long drive. You're talking, you know, maybe, I don't know, 4.5, 5 hour drive, but you can do it. We've done it. You know, it's like, oh God, we could just go. I don't care if we're there for a few hours. Let's just go. And we do it, right? We can't right now. But that's what happens here. Central Oregon is a tourist place. We have everything here. So people come from all over the state. So did they do that in Eastern Oregon too? Did they go there for something, for Memorial Day weekend maybe? And now we have this? This is happening all over the country. The spikes are continuing. It's related to reopening. It's related to choosing not to wear masks. If we get through that, you know, little, I don't know, whatever that is, silly thinking, then maybe we can shut this thing down. If you don't give in other words, if you don't give the virus any other host to jump onto, it doesn't jump on. It stays with you. If you have it, it doesn't go any further. Why can't we do that? Why can't we get that through our heads? You know, the Birkenau rune is really about the greater family. You know, it's in that last section of we have 3 groupings, right? Just like we do in tarot, just like we do in astrology, you know, and we're talking about you start out with the personal, then you start with a little bit of an interaction, and now we're talking about the collective aspect of self. And with Birkenau, this is family. And we have to understand that that's what we all are to one another. We're family, whether we know it or not, whether we acknowledge it or not. Everyone we see is the other side of self. We are all one in spirit. We are all one in non-physical. We might have different energy signatures, but we're all from the same creative source presence. Just aspects of that expelled into physical form so that we can learn things and bring it back to that collective. So we can experience different things in tangible form, things that we would not do in non-physical. We're learning another side, a lesser side of self, one that is not focused on spirit. What does that look like? Well, we can all make the choice to remember. Some of us do. We don't forget. But most of us make the choice to set that aside so we can function here and really get into the muck of it all. Some of us, unfortunately, don't, and we're like, don't do that. Remember who you are. Anyway, on to the human design stuff. Coupled with the channels of awareness and openness, the sun at gate 12.4, the prophet, and Earth at gate 11.4, the teacher. So you kind of see where this is going. Suggests that greater awareness is available today, either from a leader that emerges or awareness that is fostered by spirit. I mean, we saw the amount of spiritual energy coming into Birkenau to form that. So, it could be that resonance that's affecting everybody today and raising their frequency into something more lofty and more, higher self-oriented. But that's really what they're talking about there. In one sense, this may align with the moon at its own gate of wariness, in that we may need to reassess our boundaries with others and the manner in which we offer, accept help or assistance. Here's the thing. Sometimes we try to help too much, and we don't take into account that maybe that person can't handle someone helping them. So that's what I'm talking about. Those of us that maybe are still, and now that it's spiking up, we're all going to be in our varying levels of quarantine at this point, right? If we're not sure, then we're going to have to we don't know, we might have been exposed to something so we're all in these weird places again of figuring out how we're going to go out if we need to as everything's increasing. Well, not everybody is able to accept assistance from others. So somebody older might be unable to ask for help. And then conversely, maybe someone has a hard time giving help. Or maybe someone has a hard time with giving too much help. So again, we're having to navigate that. So if you're feeling resistance and you're feeling like, oh, geez, I don't want to bother anybody, people are out there waiting to be bothered. Okay, they really are. They're hoping that someone asks for their help because maybe they're afraid to offer it. You see what I'm saying? A lot of this is going on right now for people. They're struggling with being able to ask, being able to give, knowing if they can offer. Are they offering too much? Making a pest of themselves, like, no, I really can take care of myself. I really can. I thank you. But I you don't want to be there anywhere with people right now. But at the same time, I think people are struggling with it. They just, especially if you're older, you don't want to bother anybody. No matter what truth you know about it, you're still going to come down on the side of not bothering anybody. So, and anyway, although we're in varying stages of crisis now, with both the virus spiking around the country as well as violence increasing against citizens of color, as we take to the streets to protest racial injustice, Mercury's continued placement at the troubleshooter reinforces the fact that true change is possible now, and we can't lose focus. Okay, that's Venus's placement on delusion. Don't lose focus. Instead, we're going to have to persevere in this fight to secure a peaceful future. And that's Mars's placement in resistance. Keep that resistance going. Not only the resistance, but it takes the friction within, a certain level of resistance within, to get up off your butt and go do something, right? Sometimes it takes that. Otherwise you're just going to sit there and maybe think about it forever. Sooner or later, you got to get up off the couch and do something. And that's the kind of resistance that we're talking about. We have to persevere in this. We cannot let it go. And as far as the virus goes, We have to stay vigilant to actually make it go away. What the vice president said yesterday was just a flat out lie. We aren't flattening anything. If anything, it's going up. All you have to do is look at the graphs. It shows you right there. These people are lying. You have to ask yourself, well, why? Because they don't want to get blamed? Well, that ship sailed. Too late. You're blamed. You didn't evidently cause it, but you didn't do anything about it either to get us going in the direction we needed to go. Now, some of us knew we had to. Heck, we hunkered down the beginning of February. I thought it was the end of February, but I went back and looked at my day timer. No, no, I wrote down when we did. It was like, I don't know, February 2nd or 3rd. We went out a couple of times to the grocery store and to go buy our chickens because we had to replace some chickens. Well, we added to, we didn't replace them, we added. But I look back and it was like February 2nd or 3rd that we made the decision to hunker down and to restrict our movement. And shortly after that, we began wearing masks. So I don't know, because the mask, patterns came out and everyone's making them. So I'm making them, right, for the two of us, because I'm not going to go out without one. So it's just that simple. I don't know why this is so hard for some folks. I don't know why they see it as a sovereignty issue. I saw somebody wrote something, oh, you're breathing in carbon dioxide and you're being poisoned if you have a mask on. Well, tell that to surgeons who are in them all day. What, you think they're suffering from poisoning? Really? Come on, don't overthink this. Don't try to find reasons to not comply with this, to not do what's sensible. Just let that stuff go. That's just, oh my Lord. Anyway, I guess that's it. I'm going to go do the Somewhat Daily Tarot and Rune video now. So thanks for watching, and come back tomorrow. We'll visit again and we'll take a look at this. I'm going to go ahead and get started on next week's today, get it all fleshed out and laid out and all that, and then we'll probably start working on the interpretations tonight for next week. And I have to also, usually on Wednesdays, I do something over on Medium, so I don't have any idea what that's going to be, and I don't even know if I'm going to do one today, but maybe. It's going to happen either today, tomorrow, or Friday. Something will go up there. But I haven't decided yet on what it is. Something will happen, though, and I'll probably do an opinion piece or something because I'm opinionated. I know you didn't know that, but I am. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Be good to yourself, be good to one another, and blessed be.